thank you guys for doing this. I'm really glad to have you all come in here.
Thank you for having us, man.
It seems like you got, how many like shows a month or a year are you playing?
We'll have months where we really don't do much of anything, whether that's just because of family obligations or we're writing or we're recording.
Or winter.
Winter.
Yeah.
Like we always take December off. We do like one end of the year charity show at the beginning of December, like as close to the beginning as possible.
Okay.
And then when that show's done, whatever, it might be February, March till we come back out usually.
Then we go to Daytona usually first.
Yeah.
March for bike week.
We hibernate. We're like bears.
I saw that you had played down there. Is that a yearly thing that you're doing?
Seems to be.
Okay.
It's 2 years in a row.
Nice.
We've done
So-
Daytona Bike Week.
That's like perfect timing too.
You like
Yeah.
it?
Get the holiday.
It's
It is
so
fun.
nice down
It
there.
is.
This last
at
time
that
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It's very welcoming. I don't ride motorcycles, but I'm very interested in motorcycles, so it's really cool
Yeah.
to see all that
Just fun
culture.
to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So just give me like a high level overview of how the band started, when it started, whoever wants to take that.
Well, you and Barlowski had
They all
guys
just
had-
learned how to pronounce his
Yeah.
name tonight.
you guys had a thing going for
Thing going, yeah. It was
Well, how long were you
It was
guys-
a very special thing.
how long were you guys playing before I joined in?
Probably only 6 months.
Right,
I
because we
think-
didn't have a singer.
Yeah,
And what year was this roughly?
January of 2018, I think, was the first time Paul probably came to my house. And we had a different drummer at that time, and we just couldn't find us. We had some singers come by with nothing that we could settle on. And then June of that year, June of 18, I think Al responded to I think it was a Craigslist.
It was a
ad,
Craigslist ad,
shockingly, but-
2018.
Yeah, and he came in and sang, and I haven't let him leave since.
Nice.
It was great. Our old drummer was like trying to be like uber professional about things. You know, this is a basement at that time cover band. You know, just a bunch of guys playing, and he's like, "We'll call you when I'm leaving." He's like, "We'll give you a call. We'll talk and we'll call you." And then Joe walked me outside. He's like, "I'll walk you up." And he's like, as I'm leaving the house, he's like, "Please don't go to any other band. Like, you're in the band. Like, I don't want. Don't get it twisted."
Don't let him. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 7 years later, one of them's here, one of them's not. So.
Man, that's funny. So how does the band fit into your life? I mean, it seems like you guys are really kind of going at this, you know, doing a lot of gigs. I've seen that, you know, you have, songs on the radio, like Secondary Market. What is that? Secondary Market Rock Chart, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, you guys are really putting a lot behind this, right?
Yeah, I mean, how you juggle it with your life. You have to have, I think all of us, especially now, have very supportive partners, spouses, wives, girlfriends, fiancés in our lives that are, I mean, honestly, come to as many shows as they can come to. They support us doing what we want to do. So if you don't have that, like the family behind you that supports it, then I agree, it's going to be tough. I've seen a lot of people not stick in bands because it just doesn't fit into a life. But if they support the life and are part of it, enjoy it, then I think it's something that it's not as hard as you would think it would be. I think Al's the one that's hardest for just because he has a young child. The rest of us don't. Like I have grown children. His is the youngest by far in the band, and that can cause some issues. And that's a lot of times why we take a lot of time off around the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes
being
sense.
3 years younger than this guy is really tough sometimes. So
3?
He's talking
20.
about me, not you guys.
yeah, I mean, like I will
28,
never,
remember?
I will
right.
never be able to give enough credit to my wife and my mom and my in-laws for, like, I mean, when I'm away for days at a time, for them to all arrange because they got to arrange their schedules around that too. It's not just me that's adjusting, because it's my babysitter adjusting for me not being able to pick him up at the end of the day, and my wife adjusting for, you know, all of the nights she has to take care of him alone. It's the amount of effort that my family has to put in order to allow me to pursue some sort of dream with music is astronomical. And a lot of times I feel like they're putting so much more energy and they have to put so much more heart in than I do to be able to allow me to do this. So I'm forever grateful for that.
Yeah.
We're lucky that we're at a point though, like, man, 19, we hit it hard. Like, cause you're trying to make
my
a
God.
name for yourself. You're trying to play as many shows you can, make as many contacts as you can, practice as much as you can, cause you're just starting out and writing music. We're now at a point where we can go a month without rehearsing and even play a show as long as we're not playing anything new. The rehearsing's more about locking in a song either for the studio, writing music. We don't have to practice as much as we used to. We do have to. We don't. And we don't have to take every single show anymore. You don't feel the pressure. If it doesn't work into your life, you say no, and that's okay because we have enough, I think, a good enough reputation with promoters, venues, other bands that they know we're not doing it to be rude or ignorant. It just didn't work in our life, and there's always a next time. So,
Right. If we don't get to do it, they know there's a reason because they
Right.
know we want to do it.
Yeah. I'm interested. I mean, it seems like you all have played music kind of in the scene for quite a while. Is that right to say? 5, 10, 15 years, maybe?
More.
More? Yeah.
For me.
I'm interested. What kind of things have you learned about gigging, about music? You know, I think about, like, I worked at a club a number of years ago, and I just remember, like, you know, some young asshole bands would come in and, like, you know, just treat the staff like shit and stuff like that. What kinds of things have you learned that just make band life easier, make gigging life easier? And this could be like, you know, loading in, you know, having a way to load your stuff in the van, just little things that you've learned over the years to make,
Kindness and compromise, man.
yeah.
And be
Right.
professional.
And be
Yeah.
professional. Like at the end of the day, we are all in this thing together, right? The venues, the promoters, the bands, we're all in it together. We're all in this to put on a show for whoever's coming out that night. And I think if you can just be kind and understanding, even if it's not your ideal situation, you know, you got to adapt. And
Respect time, please. I like when everybody respects time and communicates with each other. When all the bands on a show and whoever the stage crew is are able to get together prior to a show and be like, okay, here's how things are going to go down. Here's how we're loading in. Here's how we're loading off. These are the times that everybody has, set times, load in, load off. When everything like that follows according to plan, it's awesome for everybody. I always like to one of my big like toot town our own horns is that we're the fastest loaders and unloaders this side of the Mississippi.
Nice.
We could have an entire show of ours on stage in 10 minutes and off stage in 10 minutes. We do not mess around. Granted, I'm not wrapping up all my cables on stage. I'm throwing them all in my bag and I'll wrap them later.
Right.
But I think we have gotten it down to a very well-oiled machine how we load in and off, and all promoters and all stage managers love us for that. We're also always the first band that's willing to share gear. If we need to share cabs, if we need to share drums, we're all about doing that. And also, we're the most malleable. You know, I feel like when it comes to other people's gear, heck, once every 10 shows, Paul gets to use his kit. You know, we're either using a house kit or
and
using
listen,
another
that's,
band's kit.
that's frustrating.
Yeah.
Right? It is frustrating.
You're playing a different instrument.
And especially, not every drum kit is the same. You know, there's not even the same amount of pieces on every drum kit. So when you're writing a song that is built around this and you have to adapt, sometimes it is frustrating. But you just got to, if that's what the show is calling for, you know, you can gripe about it. And sometimes I do, but at the end of the day, I'm just going to go up there and play it.
Yeah.
He'll moan and
You
groan in
know.
private to us because he knows
Right.
like it's a comfortable place and he's allowed to do that.
Right.
But when it comes to like at the end of the day, he
Right.
plays whatever he needs to and he
Because
still crushes it every
This
time.
is what was decided was going to work best tonight. So at the end of the day, that's what you do. You know, it's what's going to make the whole show go smooth.
Who is it at shows? This is kind of just my own curiosity. Like when you're playing a show with like 3 or 4 other bands, is it generally the sound guy that's kind of like running the show, like telling people
promoter or sound
promoter
guy.
usually? Okay.
Depending on the level. Certain promoters are more involved in running the show. Some just set it up and then leave it to the sound guy. But the sound guy's always going to want one set of shells. I mean, it makes
Yeah.
his life easier, and I get that. They're also going to want you to share cabs if possible, because anytime he doesn't have to change over any mics, it's better for him. It's easier for him to sit back.
Yeah.
And we're still that band that lugs, you know, amps around and need them mic'd, and we need the stage monitors. We don't have in-ears. We don't do any of that stuff. We have no tracks. So that's why we do pride ourselves on being fast, because we are different than most bands today, that we do need all those mics and everything set up. So the other thing I just learned is there's a difference between having an ego on stage and then none off of stage. Be a rock star when you're up there, but be humble off of it and treat everyone the same. And we've had people treat us like crap, and I still shake their hand and smile and move on our day. and the opposite. So that's the biggest thing. Just don't be afraid to think you're the best band on the earth when you're on that stage. But as soon as you get off, you're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Clock in on Monday morning just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You gotta
Right.
go back to your job. Like,
It's a lot of people skills, just like any job, I guess. You
also
know,
just feels
but-
real vindicating when you know somebody like talks shit on you and then you're just nothing but nice to them. Like, so they really have to go out of their way to be mean to you, and you're just the nicest person in the
Right.
history world. You just don't feed into it whatsoever.
Yeah,
You're just the better person in that, and you're just
Yeah.
gonna excel.
Well,
and
it's
every
kind
people
of
love
like
that.
Zen meditation. You just have to like ignore that and just be present in that moment rather than, yeah. I think we kind of talked about this, but are there any other really big challenges you deal with being in a band? And this could be, again, like on the road, family, things like that. Again, if we kind of hit on this, that's okay. But I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to mention that is just, a challenge that you deal with on a regular basis.
Not having roadies.
Yeah, for real.
You do. You have 4.
True.
I
For me,
totally
it's
get that.
shutting it off. Like, I can get in modes where I'm constantly trying to design merch. I'm constantly trying to look for venues to play. And I need to be able to say, stop. Like, don't be obsessive. Don't spend like hours at the computer doing one little, promo video or whatever like that. Take time to step away and recharge. And I think that's why if I look back, I like our second EP, but I don't love it. And I feel like we were in a state where we were constantly working and it wasn't as fun and it was a little bit darker. And by the time we took a little bit more time on the third one, we revisited songs that we didn't rush to record that had been around since the beginning, and they all turned out better and I was happier with it. And now we're in that stage where we're not just rushing a song out. Like, we're taking our time with it and breathing a little bit more than we used to, I would say. Especially me. I can't speak for everybody, but
Yeah, I know me and Joe also have problems, and Paul Cochran is always the one to shake us out of it basically every single time. Like, as a band, you're going to have bad shows. You're going to have bad nights. You're going to have bad crowds. It doesn't mean you're a bad band. It doesn't mean you suck. It just means that the crowd's not there that night. And if you can't play to 2 people, you can't play to 200, you can't play to 2,000. You don't deserve to. Play like it's your last show on earth every single night.
And play like it's a full house.
Yeah.
You play,
You know.
and because if you get one fan, then you've by impacting one person, you are better than the 100 other bands that didn't play that night, that did not impact anybody. So if you go up there and you half-ass it in front of 3 people, they're going to tell 3 people, they're going to tell 3 people,
Yeah.
and you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. So I know I get really grumbly and grouchy when I see that it's a really slim crowd, and Cochran always has to pull me aside and whisper sweet nothings into my ear and tell me, please just play a song and don't be a bummer on stage like you tend to do, and don't say dumb, don't call the crowd dumb, don't call them old, don't make fun of them, just be a fun guy. But it works, and it's so much more fun to just.
But it is
losing your
tough,
time.
like, if it's not the greatest night on earth, like, it is tough to go out there and give it your all, especially when you're pumped up for you pump yourself up for these shows, and then you go and you do them, and they're not always what you thought they were going to be in your head.
Yeah.
So it is hard to get out of that mental block.
I'd imagine you get, after so many years of doing it, you get kind of, when you walk into one of those situations, you're like, okay, well, this is that. And we'll just, you kind of, I imagine at first, like when you were younger, you're like, oh man, they probably were much more of a bummer back then. But now you're like, yeah, this is just part of the
The
gig,
right after
right?
COVID was when we were first doing shows, like after, like when the COVID restrictions started easing up and they started letting us do shows again, but it was still very restricted in how shows were done. So like our first show back with people, it was like these 4-person tables and all of them were shielded completely in plastic,
Oh my gosh.
separated from each other by like 6-8 feet each. So there was only like 30 people there, and I'm like, geez, like it was like an episode of Dexter, like how about like. So it's super bizarre. Or like when you have a show where it's all tables and everybody's sitting down and you're just playing like the most aggressive music ever, and you got people like sitting cross-legged and
Yeah.
eating chicken wings. But just because somebody's not up on stage crowd surfing does not mean they're not enjoying your music.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, anytime I've gone to shows and concerts, I'm the guy that stands completely still, but I have such an adrenaline rush as I'm watching it. So that's a great point. You know, you don't know how people show their appreciation and their involvement in the music in different ways.
Sure.
A lot of times it is the people who are standing in the back, cross-armed, hyper analyzing that are first to come up to me to be like, you sounded incredible.
They're the ones that are paying attention.
Like, I cannot believe like you sounded like that. And
Yep.
they're always like the super nicest people.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
I'm going to steal that line.
What's that?
Standing still. Until
Oh yeah.
have all that adrenaline.
Anytime we tell you to move, you'd be like, remember that one time we did an interview?
He's our statuesque.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling
Sifu
it.
said we don't have to move.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You had said it's hard to unwind. What do you guys do to unwind? Like just to step away from music? Like do you have things?
Music.
More music? Okay, that's
Not
fine
my
too.
music. Not my music.
Just other music.
I listen to other music. I think it's very fun that I have a 3-year-old, so I do 3-year-old things. I'm fully enveloped in Bluey lifestyle. Like Bluey is my jam right now. Sesame Street, Thomas the Tank Engine again. I'm basically living my childhood through my son because I didn't have a bad childhood by any means, but I didn't have a blessed childhood. I wasn't like flourishing with cash by any means. So because as I sometimes do have some expendable income, I'm kind of living my childhood through my son. Like, so my son has like a crap ton of Hot Wheels tracks and stuff like that, and we're building Hot Wheels tracks all across the house and making my wife mad.
Yeah.
Or dumping water everywhere. Like it doesn't. And then like when it comes to music, like I don't listen to metal music outside of us and like with my wife, but like at home I listen to
I want to get to that then. I kind of want to ask everybody what all you listen to. But anybody else have any like unwinding methods?
Mine is silence.
Yeah.
It really is. So like even these guys pick on me sometimes because we'll get in conversations at rehearsal and they'll be talking about whatever band and I have no clue who they are. It is so bizarre. Like when we are not playing, I don't drive with music on. I don't play music in the house except for when I'm cleaning.
Yeah.
When I clean, I have music on in the house. Friends.
Drive to Florida with Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
silence except for
Silence.
his
Yeah,
talk
like
to
he had
his
to make
text to
me
speech.
like turn the radio on at one point. I just don't. It is bizarre because growing up, all I did was listen to music nonstop.
Yeah.
But silence is definitely my.
That's funny.
thing to-
I'm exactly
to
the same
unwind.
way. I'm almost never listening to anything in the car except maybe a podcast or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay. I want to get to that too, actually. I'm going to ask some like non-music related
Right.
questions too, because sometimes that gets really fun. Anybody
Do you have
else?
the heavy bag?
No,
Downstairs?
I mean, my fiance Christine would probably say I never unwind. I'm always
Yeah.
high strung, but
Yeah.
I try to keep the workout and fitness type stuff because it relieves stress.
Yeah.
Scream into pillows and
Play with your dog.
yeah,
That works
get
too.
into the dog rescue world big, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
That's super cool. Is there an overarching theme to the music, would you say? Lyrically?
I would say it's probably developed into something different. It started much more anti-establishment government, and now it's almost, especially we just got the first edit of our next music video. It's almost more community built around anti-establishment. Like we're building our own community. So that's, I would now almost say we were a little bit younger and snottier at the beginning, and now we're a bit more like building a community around Defiant.
It almost sounds a little bit more like you were sort of identifying maybe problems earlier on, and now you're kind of like, well, community is sort of the solution to some of these problems. I'm curious about that. Do you guys feel that? Like, I feel so much these days, like, I just don't have a community. Like, I have friends, but like where I live, like, there's just not so much of a community feeling. I mean, do you ever get the feeling that we're just really missing that? in our
It's the folly of being in the digital age.
Yes.
Like the problem with being able to have everything at your fingertips all at once is that this is why it's very difficult, I think, for people to go out to shows is because they could just watch it on YouTube or on Twitch or whatever. Like they don't have to go out and do things anymore. And we're really trying to encourage people to do things. I think earlier on, if you listen to like early Defiant stuff, yeah, it was very politically charged. I'm a very literature driven person. I'm a very history driven person and a politically driven person. So I take from works of literature like, you know, George Orwell. I take from history like the Salem witch trials and like the Crusades on Jerusalem and stuff like that. But yeah, more recently, I've definitely been trying to, you know, still keep the defiant attitude and keep the sting of things, but instead of being as pessimistic about everything, to be more uplifting and more trying to be an inspiration for people. Like I want to write music that people listen to and they get inspired to do something, to make a change, whether it's in themselves
Well,
or
we
in
always
their
say,
community.
like, just be defiant against, like, the hateful things. Like, that's really what it is. Like, don't be on board with that. Be defiant against those things. You
We're
know,
just a bunch of fellas at the end of the day. We're not angry people. We don't.
Yeah.
we all sit at home in our, you know, gym shorts and just hang out and watch movies just like everybody else.
Yeah.
We're not, you know, doing seances or, you know, not that you know of or anything.
yeah.
My house has seance.
We don't know what
just not me.
Paul does at home. He watches Yankees games.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just watch Yankee games.
Did you play?
I wish I had sidewalks where I live because I would love to go outside for a walk once in a
Yeah.
while, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'll end up in a
You gotta-
cornfield somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to go across the street now and walk on those new sidewalks. 'Cause that place down
Oh
there.
yeah, right.
Did you play baseball at all, or
I played baseball, yeah.
you did? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's
From
awesome.
like 1940.
33.
Oh, okay. This is pre-war.
Bow, bow, bow.
Oh my gosh! So this is a joke that you are the older guy in the band. Is
Yep.
that okay?
I'm the older one.
I feel like the more thing is that I'm the younger one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is actually awesome. Like,
Joe's 28.
Yeah,
He's
it's
been
true.
28 for 7 years.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
On
That's neat how
Facebook.
that happens.
He's
Yeah.
responsible for
but it is the cool thing being like, because I've been in bands like since I was in high school, and being with a group of people who have already kind of done it and they've already seen like the crap that music can bring out in people. They're already over it. Like, so like there's no egos around because nobody cares, at least as far as we're concerned. And so, and they have so much like knowledge that I can just feed off of, and all the stuff that I'm really into, they're really into because it was made when it was really popular.
Right.
So like,
I think you hit the nail on the head with that because, you know, all my childhood, since I heard Styx for the first time, that my parents would play, you know, I just wanted to play music. And then I got introduced to MTV, which never happened at my house. We didn't have it. I only got MTV when we made the trip to my grandma's house. It was
Okay.
like 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So when I got introduced to that, like all I saw were these rock stars, and I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And you know, previous bands that I had been in, we achieved some success, but this is definitely the most successful band that I've been in. And I've said to Joe several times, like, I'm so glad this never happened when I was 20. You know, because the mental thing. You know, you read all these stories.
But it would have been so much more fun.
better on the back.
yeah.
It would have been better on the back for sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know that it'd be great on the mental. You know, when you see a lot of these young child stars that, you know, and then they go through problems later in life, and then the whole world's judging them on, and it's like, dude, you don't even know what they've been introduced to or been
Yeah.
part of. You know, so it's just cool to go into all this with a clear and focused mind now.
It does make you wonder how, like, when now that I think about it, I can't think of too many bands who got big at like 18 or 19 or something like that are still, you know, have had any longevity. I mean, there's some, I'm sure, but it seems like the bands that really stick are the ones that probably were in their mid, late 20s, early 30s when they really got started. Because it does seem like at that point, you just have a better head on your shoulders about, you know, like the things you guys are talking about, like how to gig properly, how to treat people, stuff like that. Like that's not stuff you really know very well at like 19 or something like that.
Yeah, like the Jonas Brothers were really popular where they were kids on the Disney Channel, but then they had to wait 10 years and then they came back and they were really successful.
Right, yeah,
like
yeah.
They had to take a 10-year break to find themselves and like wash away all the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
That was the first Jonas Brothers reference in a Defined interview.
Sorry.
Good job. You're welcome. Way to work it in.
We've gone
There's
8
a first
years.
for everything.
We've gone 8 years.
And now the truth comes out.
Hope it was. I actually don't know.
Definitely.
Is Hanson more your guys' speed? Would you guys understand that reference more?
No, Jonas.
Mbop.
They're
yeah.
Jersey boys.
Yeah.
Mbop,
Who is-
yeah.
Jonas Brothers.
Oh. Yeah, you're.
Did you guys want to say? So I kind of wanted to go through the songs individually, and if there's anything you wanted to say about it, it could be about the lyrics, it could be about the writing, the style of it, like if there was any particular challenges in the songs. So Ignite the Sky. Is there anything about that one you guys wanted to?
It was the
talk about?
first song we ever wrote, right?
Really?
It was a song that
Yeah.
that Joe and Paul had basically had done in the before I came in the band. They already had the lyrics written to it and everything. They just needed a melody, and so we finished it up whenever I got in, and we've had it since the beginning. Never. Well, we recorded it I think once, but it never got like a wide release on anything. We just it was in an art studio, and there was one singular mic in the center. We kind of just winged it. But then after we finished the second EP and we were got back to writing for the third, and we would play the song all the time, and we just really were never like super big on it. We were kind of washed out on it, and finally Joe was like, I like the chorus. I want to keep the chorus the same, but I want to change everything else, and I want to just rewrite it. And so we slowly did and turned it into like a totally different animal, different meaning. Yeah, it's just way cooler now. It's way better.
Yeah, once we changed the tuning, I think it became a different song.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tuned down to half step, and it's crazy what a half step can make. But Alice in Chains did it, and that was really cool. so I mean, I guess if I can be half as cool as Jerry Cantrell.
The lyrics were never meant to be I don't claim to be a lyric writer, and I come from the camp where the singer should write the lyrics, because if I write them, it doesn't mean anything to him. He's not going to sing it as passionately. So they were always placeholder lyrics for me, but we were just lazy, and we needed songs to play live, so we played it. But then when it came time to record it, I was like, Al said it, like, I don't want my lyrics other than I like the chorus line, but even I think it's really only one line of the chorus that stayed the same. The rest of it changed, and the vocal melody changed slightly in the chorus. And I mean, I think you had him done in like 24 hours when I said just rewrite the lyrics, and he crushed it. And it's been probably one of the more popular songs, and definitely the highest charting song that we've released. So I think that shows a
And
testament
it's a
again
fun one to play live.
to not
Yeah.
rush it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes they take a couple years to,
Yeah.
what's the word, percolate?
Yeah,
Yeah. Percolate. Germinate. I don't
that's
know.
a $10 Scrabble word or whatever. I don't know.
Bastards of the Earth. Is it bastard or bastards?
Bastards.
Oh, okay.
Plural.
Okay.
Because it's about community. Like
All of
we're
us,
all
yeah.
together. Like that song, the lyrics for that song, one of the lyrics is make us build the houses that they know we can't afford.
Yeah.
Like we are building these houses. There's this housing community that's getting built up near my work where it's like 3 houses together. So it's house in the middle, house. And then you got these big signs that says now starting at the low 300,000s. I'm like, you're telling me I'm spending $300,000 for a house and I got to share a wall on both sides? I'm going to build this house out of cookie cutter materials, and then you're going to make me pay $300,000 for it?
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Just like the amount people are taking advantage of, and the amount we kind of just have to roll over and take it in a commercial society. It sucks, and I'm not claiming that I know a better way to do it. I'm not a school going man. I didn't go to enough smart school to be able to change the entire formation of economy, but I do know that what we currently have to go through sucks, and I know that doing it alone sucks.
And it happened fast.
Yeah.
It really happened fast.
Yeah.
Like one day things were reasonable, and then the next day they just absolutely they weren't.
Yeah.
So
I think if you can suffer together, I think it lessens the severity of a suffering. And I'm not saying that paying and a couple extra dollars for your groceries is like the max amount of suffering you can have, but we're all kind of just dealing with a shitty time. We might as well like find like-minded and like-hearted individuals and have some semblance of what you said earlier,
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
I feel like people would have a lot more emotional stability if we just kind of learn to just hang out again. Is like love each other a little bit again and understand that we all have problems. We're
Yeah.
all going through it right now. Like we're not all special in that regard. Like let's spend less time hurting each other and yelling at each other about the things that are wrong and spend some more time, you know, being proactive, trying to fix things together.
And I think too that like, I mean, what's the basis of music throughout history? Like it's the thing that whatever style or genre that it is, it's the thing you go to relate to something, right? Whether it's hip hop, heavy metal, country, R&B, it doesn't matter. When you become a fan of whoever it is, it's because you relate to that person, you know, and this is the world we're in now. So, you know, we want to relate to our fan base, but we want our fans to be able to relate to us too, you know, because we don't want them to feel like they can't come say hi or they can't shoot us a message. You know, it is about family.
And music is pretty much inherently a social thing. I mean, I think from like some of the earliest records, like there's evidence that like people made music, you know, whatever, just with, you know, sticks or rocks or something like that. But it was always a sort of communal thing. And so it is just sort of inherently like you need people to make music. And then it also just encourages people to come and enjoy and celebrate the music too. And so it's funny you mentioned that line because when you guys were outside, I mentioned to Paul that line stuck out to me about, you know, the houses. And we got launched into this whole conversation about like houses starting at $500,000 or something like that. And I mean, that's another great thing about music too, is that it kind of unifies people around a suffer, like you said, you know, everyone's kind of suffering in some way. And when you can suffer together, it kind of eases the burden a little bit. You know, it eases the suffering a little bit when you've got people
Well, if you talk
around.
to people about what you're going through, there's quite a high chance that they have some sort of solution or some sort of help for you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you don't realize what somebody's going through, but you can attempt to help that person if you're able, even if it's just by being there. I mean, the amount of stress that would have been, you know, off of my shoulders if I just had a shoulder to cry on, you know, in times when I was stressed out as a kid is insane, you know?
Yeah.
And but we live in such a digital age now where everybody's kind of just in their goblin nests on, you know, on their various social medias. And
Yeah.
I think we just kind of need to disconnect a little bit. And you find friends just by like the small bit of connecting. I'll clown on Paul for his Yankees hat all the time, but like people will come up to him all the time just because he's a Yankees fan.
Yeah,
He makes
yeah.
friends everywhere we go. And then he vanishes. And now he's the coolest member of the band because nobody ever can talk to
He's
him.
mysterious. He's got a mystique about
There's
him.
a Facebook fan page that is completely dedicated to finding out
of
where
them.
he is.
Oh, there's two fan
There's,
pages.
there's
Yeah.
a Parbalowski fan page that's just about him, and then there's the Where's Paul fan page where it's just pictures of Paul in places he shouldn't be in, like historical events and on Mount
That's
Rushmore.
great. That's awesome. I love that.
He's our mystery man.
That's
Yeah.
great. What are some of the venues in the area that are really supportive of local music and original local music too?
God, I don't want to answer that.
There was two great ones,
They're
but they
all
both
very-
closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say they're all supportive of live music. Live music venues are hard to maintain. I mean, I get their struggles and why so many have closed. It's not what it used to be. But I mean, we've had a lot of amazing venues back from Chameleon Club when it was open to XL Live, HMAC, Love Drafts, soon to be Capitol Music Hall. Phantom Power is amazing. Greg there is a huge supporter of live music and local music. But we're lucky to be in an area because I know people that are in other areas where the local bands don't get the opportunities that Central PA gets on national shows, on to headline shows at venues like that Nationals play on, like they'll do local nights. That it's a much harder, hill to climb. So I hate this question. What are other local bands you enjoy? Because I always feel like I'm going to leave somebody out, and I hate that. But I can't think of a venue that we've played that hasn't tried to support local music.
Yeah.
It's a struggle to do sometimes.
Yeah, definitely is. I did want to ask, Well, two questions. What are you currently listening to right now that's really kind of, hitting you?
John Denver and Barry Manilow.
Nice.
Those guys get me through some crazy times.
Yeah. No, seriously.
I am surprise. I'm super stuck on the latest Marilyn Manson record that came out. I don't know what that was, November maybe. I haven't shut it off. When I do have music on cleaning or whatever, that's what it is.
Nice.
It's a great album front to back, and that's the one for me right now.
Most of what I listen to is still stuff I used to listen to, like older stuff. I'm the guy in the band that, if I'm being honest, I don't really like heavy metal that much. I like punk rock and I like melodic hard rock. So bands I've found recently, the Anti-Queens out of Canada are an amazing punk band. The Jackknives out of California are an amazing punk band. And those are the two, if I'm going to say newer stuff that aren't legacy acts that are releasing new music that I've discovered recently. Social Distortion, Face to Face, and the Misfits are probably my,
Yeah.
what's that mountain? Rushmore.
Rushmore.
Yeah.
I think I might get the guy's name wrong, but I have a very fun obsession with physical media. So I collect CDs. So I like going to garage sales and just seeing what I can find. And I had recently found this CD, and apparently these people are semi well known, but it's this bluegrass duo like Norman and Nancy Blake.
Okay.
And the picture on the cover of this album, it looks like they just went out in their backyard in Lancaster and just shot a picture in the cornfield. It's so crazy, but it is some of like the prettiest sounding like Americana bluegrass music I've heard in my life. I grew up playing like bluegrass and country and listening to like the Grateful Dead and Crosby, Stills and Nash, CCR, John Prine, Hank Sr. So I didn't get into metal until much later in life when I started getting into skateboarding. Because my uncle was a professional vert skater for 20 years. So we followed him around to the Dew Tours, Vans, Triple Crowns, X Games. Got to go to California a couple of times. Humble bragging. But that's when I discovered, like the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series had just come out, so, it was Goldfinger and Face to Face, Mighty Mighty Boss Tone. So I started getting into ska music.
Yeah.
Then I found stuff like, Iron Maiden, Godsmack, and kind of went from there. But
Yeah.
like on my own, if I'm listening to music personally, it's still a lot of acoustic stuff. It's a lot of bluegrass, a lot of country, a lot of musical scores. I just found I picked up the original recording for Les Mis back in like 1986 or 87. Still holds up, still absolutely phenomenal, the singing on that. I grew up singing choir and doing musicals. So,
Nice.
yeah, so not a whole lot of metal right now. My wife and I just went and saw Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium, so we got to relive like we were, 15 again, and we felt really fun. And then, they would play two songs, and then we're all like on our hands and knees, like, I am just too old for this. Like, my back hurts. This floor is hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Is there, and this is kind of related, I was going to ask, is there something you'd be willing to confess to, like a song or an artist that people would be surprised to learn that you like?
I love Lady Gaga.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh man, Lady Gaga is so good.
Yeah.
Holy Hannah. A lot of pop music, honestly, is really cool when you stop being a jerk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when you stop being gatekeeping, like, yeah, there's a lot of crap pop, but like Sabrina Carpenter's really catchy. Like,
That freaking espresso song.
Yeah, like,
sorry,
it's good
That's one of
music.
mine. Is like I just
Charlie XCX is awesome. My wife and I went and saw Tyler the Creator. And like Odd Future, like growing up in high school, Odd Future was really cool. So like, yeah, like
Yeah.
I Lil Yachty opened for him, and I haven't listened to Lil Yachty since like Lil Boat 2, like the cold like a Sprite soda, like that. But he crushed it. It was awesome. I was like, holy crap, this guy's amazing. Like, it sounds, when you stop being just such a gatekeepy, like jerkwad about music,
just
like,
enjoy
there's
it.
so much cool music
yeah,
out there, man.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything we'd be surprised to?
I guess. I mean, I do. I mean, with I like Gaga. I like Pink. I like some of those. What I would call more where they write their own music, pop stars. But the one, if we're gonna say guilty pleasure, we talked about Hanson and Bop. If you can't get that freaking melody out of your
It's a good
line,
jam.
and they didn't even have any lyrics to that chorus, and it's probably one of the best written choruses out there. I don't care what you say. So,
Yeah. No, I hear you.
yeah.
Probably Madonna for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, particularly that song, was it Isla Bonita? Or I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
It's
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Dude,
about.
I love that song
Yeah.
so much. It's so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything for you?
I'm that guy that Al was talking about. I don't like any of those.
You're too cool for
too
I'm not cool at
any
all, but
guilty pleasure.
But John Denver.
I'll go.
That's not true. John
I'll go
Denver.
Christmas 24/7.
Oh yeah,
really?
100%. It'll be in the
Christmas
middle.
music.
It'll be in the middle of July, and we are Trans-Siberian Orchestra or like traditional Christmas songs.
Yeah.
like original Christmas recordings and stuff. Like he
That's
does.
Nothing
great.
before 70. Like everything.
Don't swear in a Christmas song.
Oh,
I
yeah,
learned
don't-
that when we were on the road one time.
And if it happens to come on the radio, because we have Christmas songs all in all of our playlists now because
Yeah.
Paul searches them up. We are
Right.
not allowed to skip it. We have to let it play.
Yeah.
So you guys are cruising down the highway, like on the way to a gig, and a Christmas song
One of
comes
the
Right.
on.
best shows ever. We're
You know
going to
what?
Florida.
It did kind of reinvigorate my love of Christmas because I fell out of love with Christmas for a long time.
Shame on you.
And it was just a sour time for me, like I was to the point where like I would like tape an air freshener to my wall and be like, "Merry Christmas, everybody!" Like that was it.
That's your truth.
But like I don't know, Paul just gets so stoked about Christmas, and it makes me get excited about the holidays too.
It's more than a season. It's just
It's a lifestyle.
yeah,
It's a spirit.
It's
Yeah,
a year.
it's-
Just-
I mean, it's true. Like I go walking around my neighborhood, and like everyone's got the Christmas. It just feels.
It feels
just
great.
Feels different.
Cozy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's right with the world around Christmas time.
Should bring back Sears catalogs, but Amazon should release them.
Yeah,
Should be Amazon
Oh
catalogs. You
man,
circle
that
all your
was
stuff.
fun. Like looking through the catalogs and.
You circle all the stuff you wanted. And
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
yeah, that was the best.
Now, how early do you set up your Christmas decorations?
My tree is still up.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Believes in
I got a
My
little
wife,
baby one.
no, I got my 6-foot tree is up. My wife decorates it for every season.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, right now we have what's Memorial Day, so right now it's red, white, and blue.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah, the lights are on. When it's dark, those lights are beaming.
Yeah, it's nice
Heaven.
to have extra light. Like Christmas lights are always feels good to like
Yeah,
brighten
but
up.
the tree never comes down.
That's really cool.
I'm the same way with Halloween.
Yeah, that's right.
Halloween.
You got your tree up.
Hey, I get to jump on board with that. I don't take my tree down now.
You call that a tree?
Yeah, it's a little 4-footer on top of a table.
Nice. Just stays up
It's a
there.
perfect house plant.
Aren't the lights black?
No, the tree's black.
Oh,
the lights
horrible.
are white.
Like his soul.
That's right.
Black like your soul.
I think my brother's doing Krampus this year, so his tree's going to be hung from the ceiling.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
going to be
That is
upside down.
cool.
He's doing
That would be
Krampus
cool.
Christmas, and he has an 8-foot tall Krampus statue.
That's a great
Jeez.
movie.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
awesome.
god.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
Krampus is that like creepy. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
the German folktale. They
Yeah.
made the movie about it.
That's awesome.
Bill Keckner was in it. It was really funny.
What was the most embarrassing thing to happen during a performance?
I pooped myself on stage.
That might take the cake. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
But
our
did
first show
anybody
back from
know?
COVID. Afterwards,
Okay.
yeah, well,
This is the first I'm hearing about this.
No, you really? He turned
dude,
right to
I'm-
me. He's
I'm-
like, I think I. Just,
yeah, I did. I was like, I immediately knew. I wasn't embarrassed by any of
I
this,
think
but
we
it
can
is
go to the
very
next
funny.
question.
That's cool. You were not embarrassed by that.
Yeah, so that wins
Yeah, I
that
was
question.
gonna go with a error I made, but there's no point now.
I mean, I have a reputation for falling on my ass every now and then.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun.
It's not that I don't
Anybody
really.
else?
I find it fun. I don't consider it embarrassing.
Yeah. That's
They'll
the thing
make
is like
fun
we
of me.
don't take ourselves seriously. I mean, granted, like I have to be a little bit serious, and I have to get like
Yeah.
the nitty gritty of the bathroom.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
maybe think of a couple of different deities to pray to. But
Yeah.
when we're on stage, we're having fun. If we mess up, 9 times out of 10, we're the only ones that know.
Right.
And
right.
when we fall, as long as we're laughing, everybody's gonna laugh with us.
Yeah.
If our guitar unplugs and we plug it back in, they're not gonna care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's all fun. That's what live music is so cool, because stuff like that happens. It's
unpredictable,
not like the
yeah.
recording. Like if I wanted to listen to the CD, I'd buy the CD, or I'd listen to the CD. When I go to a live performance, I want to hear you play the solo different. I want to hear that drum fill different. I want to hear that vocal take different. Like it's every show is organically different. And It's
Yeah.
super cool. And growing up with the Grateful Dead, where you have Dick's Picks Volume 140 for that one deep cut of Sugary that they did in the middle of Germany in 1977. That's totally different than this one that they did in 78 in England.
Right.
Like,
Right.
but they were known for doing that, and that's why it's so cool. And there's a whole culture around it.
Yeah. The unpredictability of the
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah.
Granted, I am not a smart enough man to count to 4 consistently in the same time signature. So when you have a track and you've got a click in your ear and you're able to play perfectly every single night, you are a way more talented musician than I am. There is a reason that I just plug into an amp. It is because I am too dumb to turn a computer on.
So what was the first live concert each of you went to? And there could be 2 parts to this. It could be like one your parents took you to when like you were a kid, but then the first one that you intentionally like got a ticket for.
That's a good second.
Kiss and Wasp
Kiss and Wasp, did you say? That's great.
at the Meadowlands Arena in Jersey.
How old were you? Do you remember?
God, at 10 or 11?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Were you in face paint?
No.
Are you willing to say what year this might have been?
Yeah, it was the Lick It. No, yeah, it must have been Lick It Up. So that's 83.
Wow.
So maybe I was older. I was
That's like
probably
peak
14,
Kiss.
15.
Like
That was
they
first
are like,
concert, first one you bought tickets for.
My first concert ever.
Wow.
so
That's
like
a
they
good
are
one.
sky high at that point in time. Like
No, they were actually on a down. They were.
Yeah.
It was smaller. They were playing. They played. Actually, I'm wrong. It was at the Radio City Music Hall, and they usually play like the Garden or the Meadowlands. But yeah, that tour it didn't do well.
Well, that's probably good for you. You get to see them as
Yeah,
smaller
it
venues.
was-
So,
it was-
yeah.
It was
did they
fucking
have the
awesome.
face paint on at that point in
No.
time? Or they? No, they were.
No face paint.
Huh.
So it was the first tour without the makeup.
Interesting.
It was fucking awesome.
He's like, we're allowed to swear.
Yeah,
You can swear.
because at that point they still had to do all the old songs because they had nothing after. They had Lick It Up and that was it. But before they had to do all the hits from the 70s.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
Wasp killed it too. They were great.
Paul?
Metallica,
Yeah.
big shocker. you
Where
know.
was that at and when?
Bryce Jordan Center? I think it was 96.
Okay.
My sister took me. I had to beg my mom to go.
96 we would have been about, what, 14, 15? I don't remember.
15
Something
maybe.
like that, yeah.
I was 1.
My sister she's older.
yeah.
So she had like already gone to concerts and stuff. And yeah, my parents weren't going, of course. So it was like trusting the older sister to take me type of deal, you know? But inevitably, mom got us the tickets as my birthday present.
That's cool.
So it was really cool. Obviously, they've been the biggest influence my whole life.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that show. I'll never forget when they came out. Lars did this little like doon doon on the kick drum, and it just blew my chest up, and I was just in this world of amazement.
That feeling of like your first concert when you're not used to like how loud it's going to be, what the energy is
Right.
going to be like, it's like blowing your mind.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
And I
yeah.
will never, ever forget that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mine was the Beach Boys and the Monkees.
Nice.
Not as cool, but it was cool to me. And
That's very cool.
at
Yeah,
the time,
I'm
I grew up. I mean, I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and it was one of these weird concert things where they were playing after the Omaha Royals minor league baseball game in Rosenblatt Stadium. Like there's a baseball game and there was a concert on the infield right afterwards. And my dad was a big Beach Boys fan, and it was Father's Day, and I begged my mom to like let me take him to this. I was young. I mean, he had to, I didn't take
Right.
him. He drove me. But I mean, so that was it. I took him for Father's Day, and that was my first.
That's super
concert.
cool. What was one that was there one that you intentionally, like one that you picked late? Not in,
God,
the
I
first one
can't.
was intentional, but I mean,
I mean, it was some hair metal band.
Okay.
My dad told
Bon
me
Jovi.
probably, they were Bon Jovi or Def Leppard or Rat or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Back in that era, that was when that was my gateway drug to rock and roll. As I was in that 86 to 91 window. I was really young, and in that, I would say tape buying, cassette stealing from the store. A lot of them were stolen, I think. Era, and I still love it. I know a lot of people clown on it, but if you take away the MTV visual of some of those bands and you listen to the vinyl or the record right now, it's all based in Chuck Berry punk rock riffs, and like a lot of it is. I mean, trust me, there's some, like if you get into the Nelson and some of that crap that came later, but I'm talking about the earlier ones, are much more grounded in just straight rock and roll. And it was just the 80s, so you had to have the theme and the makeup and the big hair. But if you can peel it back, some of those songs stand the test of time, I think. So it was probably one of them. I can't remember exactly which one.
Yeah.
I saw my first concert that I watched, because again, I grew up doing like choir concerts, so I performed a lot. But it was Herbie Hancock at Strand Theater in New York. So it was really cool. My grandmother had an extra ticket, and I was learning piano at the time with her. And she was just like, you want to go to a concert? And it was like probably like 10 or 11 or something like that. And it was really cool because it was just a dude and a piano and just playing jazz tunes. And it was not at all what I expected a concert to be, but it was like, I think it was definitely eye-opening for me, because it's like, wow, this one guy can like have the entire crowd in the palm of his hand for an entire night with nobody helping him. And like, it's incredibly charismatic for him to be able to do that. The first concert that I intentionally wanted to go to, it's probably a toss-up there around the same time. I saw the Dark Star Orchestra, which is a Grateful Dead cover band, at Strand Capitol with my parents. It was the first time that my mom openly smoked weed in front of me, so I felt like a really cool adult, because like I felt like I had finally passed that threshold of being like.
Did you smoke it with her? Or
no, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, I'm a big baby. I still, no. If I take one hit of weed, the cops are at the door. Everybody knows I'm high, and I have to turn my breathing into manual mode. Like I can't do none of that. I respect people that do, and it
just
really
doesn't
cool.
work for you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I just drink beer at 2:00 in the afternoon like a true red-blooded American. And
There you go.
or it was I grew up in the metalcore era when it came to metal, so it was Miss May I at the Champ when it was underneath that underpass at that shipping yard in Lemoyne, and holy Hannah's, dude, they blew the doors off of that place.
That's awesome.
I mean, you could fit 100 people in there, nuts to butts, and that's all you get. And it was sweaty, and it was gross, and it was awesome. Like that was when I went to like a real metal show, and I was like, okay, this is what it feels like. I was in a metalcore band at the time, crabcore band at the time, because Attack was really cool, and Asking Alexandria was really cool. So I had my girl skinny jeans on, my straightened hair, and my Too Shy is Too Short shirt, and.
Did you get the tear tattoo removed? Or
no,
okay.
No, I didn't. Yeah, no, I did have probably have 8 wristbands on each of my wrists. Like to write love on her arms and stuff like that. But yeah, the straightened hair was really big. So
I always joke that I was emo before emo was cool, because I don't know if you remember, in like 6th grade, I had like my hair like hanging down in front of my eyes, like swept over, and I was always like doing that thing like the emo kids do.
Yep, 100%.
But this was like 1991 or something. But so I have some non-music related questions. We just kind of fly through them if you want, or answer them as long as you want. What is your favorite or most used smartphone app?
Right now, Balatro.
What's that?
Balatro is a card game. Like, okay, so it's basically poker, like 5-card stud, and then you get points. But there are restrictions that get put in that make it more difficult for you or easier for you. You get power-ups that, make cards worth more, make your hands worth more. You can add cards to a deck or take away cards to the deck. It's just very addicting.
Is there money involved in this?
No.
Or no? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's good.
Just like, so, or like reading. So if it's like like the Kindle app or like a manga app or something, I read a lot.
Cool. Anybody else?
Probably Waze. I hate to say it. I'm
Yeah.
always driving somewhere, I feel like. So I don't probably need a smartphone, if I'm being honest. I don't use a lot of things other than texting and phone. And then I hate the social media for the band, but I don't do social media,
Good for you.
for me personally outside the band, really. So, God, it would be Waze probably. That's sad.
No, that's good, man. That is good to
There's a whole culture around dumb phones right now.
Yeah.
There's whole like groups.
Sadly, mine is Facebook.
Okay.
Not to be mindlessly scrolling. Like, I use it for all the things I'm involved in. I use it for my work, I use it for the band, I use it for photography. I try to take advantage of what the app is actually meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not what it was originally meant to do, right? You look back on it and it was to like get connected with your friends, get connected with your family. But we all know what Facebook turned into.
Right.
What got lost in the mix is all the tools that are on it to succeed.
Yeah. Networking and stuff.
Networking and just helping to build your brand, whatever that thing is. And I have a couple of them,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't love it for the nonsense that's on it. I love it for what it does
Yeah.
if you're using it correctly.
There definitely was a period where, like, I don't know, 2010 to 2018 or something, where it was just like people were just posting all sorts of political crap, and it would just turn into pissing matches,
Yeah.
you know, about politics and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. Do you use any smartphone?
Just MLB and probably Jersey Mike's.
It's a weird way of saying Pornhub.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do socials, and
Yeah, you
Just-
disconnected completely.
because of that reason you just talked
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
It's just
I
nonsense.
don't like to see friends and family fighting over
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, it's
ridiculous.
sad.
Jersey Mike's, what, to just order subs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a discount.
Nice.
Favorite sub.
Yeah,
DoorDash
Yeah, what's your favorite sub?
roast beef, extra
Jersey
mayo,
Mike's the other day for the first time, finally.
and it was probably awesome, right?
It was delicious, yeah.
I don't think I've ever had it before. I need to check it out.
There's a new one in
Before
Camp
my
Hill.
brother found out how expensive it was going to be, he was going to get his wedding catered by Jersey Mike's because his wife's name is Jersey and his name is Michael.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
but it was really, really expensive, so we didn't do that.
You say you're listening to podcasts?
Yeah.
Is that, and this is for anybody too, but like what are you listening to?
True
You-
crime.
Oh,
So
okay.
a lot
Nice.
of true crime. My favorite murder. I like Last Podcast on the Left. I really like anything like informational. So stuff like Neil deGrasse Tyson does.
Oh,
is
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
I like not necessarily, but on the podcast spectrum, but like infographics on YouTube, like long form content. That YouTubers do, especially with it like very interesting subjects. There's a guy named Wendigoon who does a lot of stuff on more the darker side of history and like more crazy events, like that guy in Japan that was kept alive for like 84 days after being blasted with 20,000 servants of radiation.
Oh God.
It's super interesting stuff like that. And I grew up in the digital age where creepypasta was a thing, which is like a Wikipedia site where people wrote scary stories. That's where Slender Man came from. If you remember
okay.
Slender Man.
Yeah.
And so I listened to a podcast of these two guys reading and making fun of creepypastas or getting really absorbed in them and being like, wow, this is a fantastic story here.
Yeah.
Because they also talk about like how a lot of these authors were like just kids writing these stories and now they're like established authors with like published books and stuff. And it's like, it's cool to see, you know, people grow like what was just a hobby and now
Yeah.
you're writing stuff.
That's
I
cool.
love horror and I love like the more grittier sides of life. So I'm very fascinated by all that.
Cool. Anybody else podcast listener? No,
Nope.
that's cool.
I don't like real life, so usually I don't.
I want to listen to
I escape
podcasts,
into
but I
fiction,
forget
yeah.
about them and I never do them.
It's cool. It's not for everybody. Pets. Who's got pets and what are they?
Well, I like dogs and my wife likes cats, so we compromised and we have 2 cats.
Okay. Sounds like I get it. It makes sense.
I grew up breeding dogs. I grew up breeding border collies. 'Cause
I mean, not
farm.
him actually.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
There's a bunch of border collies running around that
Yeah.
look like you.
Yeah,
They play
crazy.
guitar.
Yeah, but I don't have a farm anymore, so I can't do that.
Border collies are awesome.
Yeah, they're really smart, but they need a lot of room to run.
Oh
man.
yeah,
So
I could never have one, but I love their personality. They're super fun.
we're cool with cats because cats are very low maintenance. You just make sure there's food in their bowl and their cat litter is clean, and then they're just like that weird roommate. You see them like twice a week, and you're like, oh hey, what's up?
Right.
I have one dog, little petite pit bull girl.
Petite pit bull.
She's like 40 pounds. I mean, low rider.
A low rider.
She got the inward
She's
feet.
got really
love that.
muscular
That's awesome.
chest and shoulders. Yeah, she's sweet though. That I've always been really big. Well, I wouldn't say always, but I've had dogs my whole life. Growing up, my family always had dogs. But when I got into my own space and could get my own dogs, I got really into the pit bull rescue world. I remember seeing back in the 80s the Sports Illustrated cover of a snarling pit bull, and it was this I'm like, and it just made me angry even at the time as a kid. And I kept that visual in my head of what they were doing to that breed, you know, in the media at that time. And when I had my own space and my own money and my own time, I definitely got really heavy into that. And it can be time consuming, and they're difficult dogs at times because you're taking on, you know, dogs that have been mistreated by humans. But I'm big against breed legislation and bans, and because trust me, I'd rather be with my dog than most people.
Yeah.
These guys excluded, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I'd rather
Like,
be with his dog than these guys. That dog is so cool, man. That dog's got so much.
I said
skills.
excluded, not included.
No, I am excluding you guys.
yeah,
I'm just saying,
You must be with your dog
I would
instead of
rather
you.
be with the dog. No. man,
What's her name again?
Tilly.
Tilly. Okay.
It was the name at the rescue, and she was in a foster home, so I figured she knew the name. But I've had, like I said, I've had hospice fosters where they were old and passing. I've had young fosters. It's been a road, that's for sure. It's an up and down world for sure.
I think about the senior dogs, like, you know, adopting a senior dog. Like, that just seems like it would be sad, but also like a really gratifying thing to do, to like help an animal when it's at its, you know, it needs help, and to
Yeah,
like help out of this world, basically.
I
you know?
joke
Yeah.
because the shelter was like, you know, she has cancer. She's 13 years old. She maybe has 3 to 6 months. I said, all right, I'll take her in our house. She lived 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I guarantee she had 3 months in that shelter, but once she
Yeah.
got to my house, it's like, I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer.
And we
but-
usually do a pit bull charity once a year. Like we
Yeah.
did like
Nice.
Pinos and Pit Bulls or Pitties for Peace. Like we usually try to make a pit bull rescue one of our charity shows that we do every single year.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well,
I do not currently have any pets. The last pet I had was a Great Dane. My girlfriend, Meg, she has a couple cats and 2 dogs.
okay.
How much
Bye.
is a couple?
By a couple, like when I said couple, that was capitalized. So they were all capital.
Yeah.
As of a couple days ago, how many cats did she have?
She doesn't know. She is
pretty
lost
sure.
count.
I'm pretty sure it's 13 right now.
Really?
And
Yeah.
Meg's
Really?
my sister, so I can make fun of her.
Oh,
on
really?
this one.
Okay.
I've grown up with this woman. I mean, she has never met a cat she didn't love and want to bring in. And she used to have she started and she had a cat that they couldn't get fixed because the vet said her heart wouldn't take it.
Oh.
She had like 8 litters. I'm like, she could have had the surgery. She made it through 8 litters, this heart.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so.
So I get my animal fix through
Yeah.
Meg. Yeah.
That's cool. In terms of like the music, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you guys wanted to mention?
Just be a little bit more open-minded with what you're listening to, I guess. I mean, when it comes to us, I know we're up on stage and we're very aggressive and we're very in your face, and I think we were kind of intense at times, but at the end of the day, you heard us this entire interview. We're just dudes. We're fellas, and we talk like normal people. We act like normal people, as normal as you can be in this abnormal world. But give stuff a chance. Your favorite bands are not going to be around forever, and a lot of your favorite bands right now are getting up in years, man. Like the Stones don't have 10 years in them. Well, Keith Richards has 10 years in him. The only things that are going to be left whenever the inevitable heat death of the universe is going to be gray matter and Keith Richards floating through space.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Where's everybody?
but like Metallica, they don't have, in the grand scheme of music, they don't have much longer left. But you have to support up and coming bands or music will die out.
I say this all the time, like because it's a serious thing. I've maybe in jest because I'm not sure that it'll be in our lifetime, but if we don't support these up and coming bands, like we will see a time of empty stadiums. Like concerts will not be a thing anymore. The era of music that we all hang on, it's a fantastic era. There's just a string of decades of music that is just unbelievable. So like I get it. But that is all going to stop. And if there's not anybody to fill those places again, it'll be over. And that's a sad, sad thing to think about.
I mean, I've seen some articles and photos of some fairly big names that are only selling like half an arena. And it's kind of interesting that the live music, it just seems like at least in certain genres, it seems like some people just aren't going out to see shows
It's
anymore.
those ticket prices. They're crazy.
Well, that
That's
doesn't
true.
help
It is
too. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And you can't blame people for that. I mean, if they can't afford
Something
to go
that
see a
rhymes
show.
with snicket faster, get bent.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys very much for doing this. This
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you for having us,
Thanks,
man.
Joe.
Yeah. this
Thanks
is
for
great.
being one of the very few competent interviewers that have interviewed us, and somebody who had great questions.
Oh.
Somebody who was personable. Someone who it sounded like they didn't just find out about us 5 minutes ago, and now they got to put together an interview.